We got a lot of people listening, and
thank you guys so much for listening. I did not know that this was going to be an actual thing. I thought we were just going to get this nice cathartic response.
Yeah.
Get it all off our chest. Girlfriends sitting together, talking, supporting each other. And it looks like you're feeling the same support from us that we're giving to each other. And I'm glad. That's what we want to see.
Yeah, I don't know why. I was just thinking it's just going to be you and me and maybe just a few people listening.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, holy.
The people reaching out that we know, that we don't know, hey, this is already helping me because X, Y, and Z, like, thank good. I'm so happy to hear that us sharing and us healing is also helping others share and heal. It's amazing.
It's truly amazing. And we'll get into it in later episodes on how it's even helped our dynamic, maybe within our circle, our family members. I mean, for me, I've just been kind of blown away, to be honest.
Thank you guys for the response and the criticism as well. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. Again, we weren't thinking this was too much, so bear with us. The audio, we're playing with these free mics we got. Bear with us. It will get better now that we see that people are actually listening. This is going to help us help you guys. You guys help us. Just bear with us. It'll get better. I'm sure it'll get worse before it gets better.
But I think that's the beauty of it, to see us develop and progress in a better way. Because just like anything else, you know, I don't really know what the hell I'm doing here.
I was going to say, maybe this is like a little reminder.
I feel I'm piggybacking off of you, because I'm like, oh, she knows what she's doing. I'm like, I just sit here, take my shoes off, and talking to the mic.
But maybe that's just use it. You know, when you're thinking, gosh, I wish they sounded a little better. I wish they talked more on this topic. Reach out. Let us know these things.
The love has been amazing, and it's just adding gas to my tank. So thanks for the love, y'all.
Yeah, thank you guys.
We love you. Hey, what's up? Welcome to Heal, Laugh, and Rise Up. I'm Jessie, your badass 2-time cancer fighter, soul work mentor, and your favorite Latina.
Hey, I'm Amber, a chemo nurse by day, caretaker to my husband by night, all while being a scrunchy mom.
We're here to talk all about our traumas and how we use them to grow, honey.
So grab your drink and let's get in today's miracle and shit show.
Being a mom, the greatest thing in the world.
The greatest thing in the world you didn't know you needed.
Oh,
that's how Mike expresses being a dad.
I love that.
I know.
I love that.
It was so sweet.
Oh, that is so sweet.
He heard someone say it, and he was like, I'm going to say that and give you no credit. That's his.
Is it the hardest thing?
I don't know. I'm only 2 years in.
It comes so natural. I mean, to be a mom.
I'm like, honestly, and I don't mean this in a fucked up way. Mm-hmm. I love my daughter. I wanted her before she was born.
Mm-hmm.
Michael is a different type of love.
Yeah, okay.
I love him.
Okay.
And he's my husband. Society has taught me you can just divorce and get a new husband.
Right.
So that is a different type of difficulty. Like, society it's frowned upon to leave your children.
Yeah.
It's encouraged in some groups. People tell me all the time, like, why are you still with him?
Like, to leave him?
Yeah, oh, I can't believe you guys are still together. We went to a shoulder doctor last week, and the doctor asked him, are you still married to your wife that was here last time? And he's like, yeah, we're still married. And then the doctor told the nurse, like, I'm shocked they're still married. Is he telling the truth?
Really?
Yeah. And people have said to me, like, why didn't you just leave him? I can't believe you're not leaving him. Which at first was very confusing, but now I get why people say this. Not that I would.
But they would never say, leave your kid. What are you doing with this bratty ass kid?
Exactly.
Leave this damn kid at home and just give him away or something.
That's not, socially accepted. So maybe you have more support when it comes to kids. Maybe that's why it doesn't feel... I don't want to say it's not as hard, because it's really difficult.
Yeah.
But it's a different type of difficulty.
Can I ask you this? Do you think, I'm not a mother, that now that you're a parent, you can parent and do the things that maybe your mom wasn't able to do with you. And now you get to parent this tiny little human and do the things that our parents couldn't do. And just going back to what we were talking about, not talking about feelings and
Definitely.
emotions.
So two things come to mind. There is a lot of generational trauma or generational curse that I'm actively trying to put a stop to. But at the same time, I would be proud of myself if I was half the mom my mom was. Because she was so amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
But something my amazing mother taught me, which she learned from her parents, was even if they messed up, whether it's true or not, she would say this. Even if they messed up, she has to believe they thought they were making the correct choice in that moment. And if that is true, then you can't fault them for it.
Right.
They were doing their best.
Right. They weren't being malicious, like, oh, let me do this. This is the best that they knew.
So my mom has always said that about her parents. I've never heard my grandparents say those things. So maybe that wasn't their mentality. Maybe, whatever. I can't speak for someone else. But for my mother, I know for a fact that was her mentality. So now I get to be a parent and I get to do things maybe differently than my parents did. But I have no anger or fault towards them because I'm confident, even if they fucked me up a little, which I'm going to fuck up Mackenzie and my children if I have more. It's going to add some character. It's not done maliciously.
No, absolutely not.
So it's like I can confidently think like it was still coming from love. Like you say, like how to speak in love, how to do things in love. They were doing so. Maybe they didn't know it was the wrong choice. There's no book. There's books on parenting. There's no right or wrong. So like I'm fucking up left and right over here with being Mike's caregiver and Mackenzie's mother.
Yeah, that's not easy.
There's a lot maybe I was exposed to with Michael because when he came home, he had to learn to walk again. He had to learn to eat again. His mental state was a child. He didn't know who I was. So there was no romantic relationship.
Yeah.
It was simply just make sure this child continues to live.
Right.
So in a sense, like my whole world changed with Michael's accident. And I learned, without knowing, the foundation of what type of parent I want to be.
I love that.
I think that's something I learned when I did have Mackenzie. It was, everyone would say like, wow, your life changed overnight 6 months ago. Say she was 6 months old. They would say a statement like that. And I'd be like, no, it didn't. It changed, 2.5 years ago or whatever the distance was. When Mike's accident happened is when my life got flipped upside down. Which I think for majority of people, when they have their first kid, is when their life changes.
Right.
The partying stopped. All of that.
No sleep.
No
eating.
Mike's accident.
Yeah.
2-second showers. Showering with someone in the room with you. Wiping someone's ass. You can't leave because you're responsible for a life at home. Mike's accident. All of that changed.
Wow.
So I'm, in a sense, lucky when it came to my parenting style. Because I was able to try it out on someone who wouldn't remember the next day.
Right.
I was given a little head start, maybe.
Yeah, it was almost like, in a weird way, even though it was such a traumatic thing, God was preparing you for motherhood.
Yeah, which I think God, prepares us every day for the next trial. It's funny. So then I started looking into diet for Mike. I didn't know any. I'm a nurse, but I don't know anything about
nutrition,
brain injury.
Yeah.
And like how to help it. So I started reading a lot on like high fat diet, good fats versus bad fats, good oils versus bad oils. So we made a big, I guess it wasn't that big. We ate rather healthy before. And actually when his accident happened, we were on this like really strict Dr. Gundry type diet. So gluten-free, free or low lectin or different things, which sparked a lot of new information after Mike's accident when I was looking into how can I help the brain? How can I help the nerves? Stuff like that. A lot of what I was reading was about newborn babies.
Oh, wow.
And how you should feed children these things and stay away from these things. And so I got to exercise new habits with Mike, and he doesn't have taste buds or smell.
Okay.
So it wasn't like I'm going to fuck up all the time.
Right.
And he'd still eat it and things didn't go to waste. But then I had Mackenzie, and for the first year she breastfed. So I guess after 4 months, the doctor says you can start feeding them.
Okay.
with everything I learned in nursing school, it was 6 months. So then I kind of dove into like, why did it change? I chose not to add anything, even though they're able to eat by 4 months, maybe if they're not gagging or choking on it. Everyone's like, oh, they're able to eat, you can feed them now. I'm like, well, their stomach flora is not ready. And again, I don't know if that's 100% true. That's just how that was my choice. I took what I read up on. So I waited to 6 months. And then we did baby-led weaning, where you let the kid feed themselves. So, the first thing I gave her was this banana, cut a very specific way where she can hold it. Well, guess what she did? She choked.
Oh, shit.
I had to do
really
fucking back blows on the baby for the first meal I ever gave her.
Oh, really? And, oh, my God. Were you traumatized?
Yes. But at the same time, you think, this is how everything in life is. You try.
You have to try it.
And it sucks. And you can either run away or you can get back on the horse and try it again until it works, or maybe reassess after you try twice. I don't know. But I did. I just kept doing it. And it was the only time she choked. After that, my family is like, what are you doing? I'm like, let her feed herself. She'll gag. Maybe it's gag, maybe not a gag. And she would. And everyone was like, and my family is like, what are you doing?
Yeah, because this is not something that my family, no.
And also 4 months, we're giving rice. What is it? Like little oatmeal. You're putting rice in the water. I was like, no, we're not doing any of that. I did a lot of things that my parents were like, why are you doing this? You need to start doing this, X, Y, and Z. I was like, nope, that's not what I'm doing yet. And then here's a stick of butter. She can eat that.
Yeah.
You're like, you're doing what? Yeah, I'm feeding her butter as a snack. She likes it. Those were things I was doing.
Which our parents didn't do, because even my mom as a grandma take care of kids and whatever. No, you don't give them some.
She just turned 2. She feeds herself. She asks to wipe everything down. She'll ask for a wipe. If she knows that her plate's dirty, she wants to wash her plate. But it's really neat because when I was 2, I wasn't doing all this. And it's literally the exposure that she's been given.
Right.
It's not that she's smarter, and I think she's extremely bright.
Yeah.
But I don't think that that's the reason she is so independent. I think it's the exposure.
Different way of parenting, honey.
Yeah.
Learning. And also, like you said, finding a support group of scrunchy moms or crunchy or silky or whatever it is. And you feel, oh, tell me about postpartum, because I heard all about
postpartum depression. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a doctor.
You're my doctor though, girl.
No. So I believe it's after 6 weeks is when you get the diagnosis postpartum depression.
Okay.
Then
that's not a long time.
No,
6 weeks.
Girl,
I mean, come on.
It is, but it's not.
It's like you're barely waking up.
Yes.
From having a baby. You can ask you a question because I don't know much. Do they actually physically do a test to check your hormones, or not? Is it just say like an evaluation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Verbal evaluation. How are you feeling?
Okay.
How's your sleep? How's this? How's that? I think I was so depressed from Mike's accident that a baby gave me life. So
yes.
Maybe there's another, I'm lucky for that. But then there's other research saying that it takes 2 years before your hormones become balanced again, especially if you did breastfeeding, because there's hormones involved there, whether it was breastfed or pumped or whatever. But if you were producing milk for a year, 2 years, 3 years, wherever you're at, can make it even longer.
That's so interesting.
So there's a lot of research behind it, but there's this huge taboo. So the research is new, or there's not a whole lot of it. And we still go back to, you had a baby, everyone has babies, everyone moves on. Let me just point out, cesarean is a full-blown fucking surgery.
That is...
Which I feel you understand.
Yes, I do.
Right? And you understand the hormone changes when you lose, when you have to take hormones. Like, it fucks you up.
Yeah. It's a whole other world. It's a whole other ballgame.
No good, girl. No good.
So for you would say 2 years now into motherhood that you are starting to feel a little bit...
Oh, every now and then I get like a boost of energy. Every now and then I feel a little more confident that I did something right. But she's 2. I mean, I'm sure this is just going to keep going. And then I'm trying to get pregnant. So, like, if I get pregnant, there goes another hormone change.
Yes.
It's very fun. I'm currently on, like, an adrenal cleanse diet. So that's supposed to fluctuate hormones and kind of reset them. So, it's never going to stop. And I'm depressed.
Well, I must say on the record that I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
And I am extremely proud of you and what you're doing for this podcast, girl.
See, I don't know how to take nice things.
Really? Yeah. Because you are killing the game. You are doing an incredible job.
I think I'm doing fucking
now
badass.
Shut up and look at me. I want to, let me hold your hand.
Every episode
I want to hold your hand. I am very extremely proud of you. I don't want to say you didn't have a sparkle, but I do see this glow about you.
I do feel like I'm getting my spark back.
I see it. Because, I've known you for many years.
I was going to say, I lost my spark.
I've known you for many years.
Mike's accident. Mm-hmm. Like, this isn't I lost my spark 2 years ago with Mackenzie. I'm sorry to cut you off. I appreciate you saying everything. And thank you for saying it. I do feel good.
This new journey of being in charge of people's lives is draining.
Why is it so hard?
Being a parent?
Like, to parent a certain way than the way you were parent. Like, why is it hard to change your parenting if you are parenting like your dad used to parent, right? Mm-hmm. That's an example. Mm-hmm. My dad was he was a hard dad. He was a hard dad. He wasn't loving. He loved us, right? But he never spoke about feelings and so he was very, very, like I say, like a major in the Marines. He was very he would just give you that look and you would be like, oh shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
And he didn't say, I love you.
No.
My parents didn't either.
No.
My parents, till this day, I'm 32 years old. I think I can count on a whole hand combined, each of them telling me they love me.
Growing up, now you're on the phone and you hang up and you say, okay, love you, Mom.
She didn't say back.
Now?
No. No, my parents, we still don't say I love you. I say it.
Really?
They didn't even hug up 10 years ago. That was unheard of. Mm-hmm. But I'm very huggy. Mm-hmm. I love you. No, they still don't. Mm. Now, I notice it doesn't make them as uncomfortable.
Yeah.
My dad will say it back now. My mom struggles too, I think, still.
Yeah, I think my dad told me he loved me while he was actively passing away from cancer. We had a conversation in the hospital, and I think that's when I had the realization, really, really understood. And even though he's been gone 10 years, it's been part of my healing journey and trying to understand why my father was a certain way. And I wish he told me, but he told me in so many words that he loved me and that his parents never told him that they loved him. Mm-hmm. They never showed him affection, and he told me this.
And we're talking about
we're talking about my dad who never spoke about feelings.
Oh yes.
And he told me, and I felt like that was a little, ¿cómo se dice? Like the beginning of
tip of the iceberg.
Like starting, like, okay, my dad isn't an asshole. He's just has his own trauma that I don't know what he went through. And him just being a man, 68, I believe he was, and he's always been so powerful. And just to see him express that, he was so vulnerable. And I knew he was dying, and he knew he probably was dying, even though, he didn't know to what extent. But for him to lay there and tell me that he just didn't know how to love me was like... was powerful in a beautiful way, because I was able to forgive his alcoholism. He was an alcoholic from the day my mom met him. He was an alcoholic, and was one till the day he died. So I thought, wow, if I'm trying to figure my shit out and I am a certain way, imagine if I had to bottle it up and I had no one to talk to. Where would I be?
Yeah.
What would my life be?
It's a lot.
So it's a lot to try to break these curses. And even as parents, and my sisters who are parents, I, as a sister, wouldn't want them to parent the way my dad parented us. So, that's my opinion, though. Yes. That's my personal opinion.
Yours, yes.
And so does that mean I'm a bad sister?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
No, not at all.
Because I don't want us to have that next generation of living in fear.
You want to stop the generational trauma.
We have to.
Because if you don't stop it, you're just going to continue it. And you just pray, my kid's stronger than me and stops
Yeah.
me? So something I thought of, and I don't know what you said earlier, but it made me think the way I parent is very different than how my parents parented. Mm-hmm. Even though I have nothing against how they parented.
Right.
You learn, right? What I'm doing is I'm not going, my mom did this and I don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. I'm not doing that.
No.
My dad treated me this way and I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that. I'm healing the little girl while I'm raising my little girl so that I can grow better while raising my actual little girl. Like little me. I'm also raising me.
Yeah.
I'm rewriting how I learn things. I think that's what it is. Like, I'm here trying to raise little Amber so that I don't have, ¿cómo se dice?
¿Cómo se dice? Let me be your translator, cabrona.
You know, like, I'm trying to heal little me so that I don't have resentment towards my parents for parenting a certain way. And just changing it. I know they didn't do it maliciously. They probably didn't even know that that was happening. Maybe it didn't come from my parents. Either way, I have this understanding that from however I perceived something, and I'm like, oh, I think I'm going to do a little different for Mackenzie, because I'm going to raise myself different and then raise my daughter. And it works. And I think that has a lot to do with why I can stop when I'm overstimulated and I don't just take it out on everyone. Or I don't have to go. So with Michael, poor Michael, I got to learn a lot raising him.
Michael.
I would have to go into the bathroom, shut the door, and just cry on the bathroom floor for hours. He could have fallen. He could have been stuck in bed needing to be rolled. Getting bed sores. Anything bad could have been. I would just shut him out, which is, I think, what parents do. Like, right? It's too much. I'm stepping away. Even if that's causing issues for their child, they're stepping away. It's better than not being there later. It's a step in the right direction.
Because you have to reassess. You have to, like we were talking about earlier, you have to really be mindful and present. Okay, what am I feeling in this moment?
Check in with yourself.
And you have to really heal, like you said, the small child and the pieces of you that you feel need that work and that attention and that love. Because we can't continue living life and just, okay, now we're 43. Okay, now we're 44. What about when you were 35 and you went through that one trauma and you didn't really heal it? I have noticed that when I get home from work, I don't sit down until about 10 o'clock at night.
What do you do?
I'm in the kitchen. I'm either washing the dishes that are not even there, or I'm wiping and I'm moving shit around. Nomás ando moviéndome, like from here to there. And and I've realized this, I don't know if I told you this recently, doing my inner work, is like, why when I do sit down, I'm extremely tired? Because when I get home at 6:30, I don't sit down till 10. Well, because my mother never sat down.
You learned
I didn't realize that my mother didn't sit down. So I feel like I have to, even though it's just me and my husband. It's not a house full of kids and people like it was growing up where I had to be moving.
You're over here creating dirty dishes.
I am creating the scenario of not sitting down. So it's being...
Would you say you learned to flourish in chaos?
Oh, yeah.
So that's why when things are peaceful...
my whole life was chaotic. When you are raised with the alcoholic father, not knowing what the hell's going to happen when you go to graduation, when he's sitting in the front row, and how is he going to walk out so intoxicated? He looks like a cucaracha fumigada, like a horse that's been fumigated. I'm sorry, Dad, but, he was there. My whole life was a survival. And I just thought it was normal. But now that I'm trying to heal my traumas, not just from my, little journeys in cancer, but really thinking back when I was little.
Yeah, you're healing and re-raising little baby you.
Yeah.
I think that's why my parenting style I could be screaming at my kid.
Yeah.
I'm overstimulated.
Right.
Just stop. Why this? Why? What's that? Right now she's doing the what's that?
Yeah.
What's that? What's that? And you heard me. We're driving back from swim and I'm like, that's a building. That's a sign. That's a light. That's a car. It just keeps going. Mackenzie, it's life.
It's life. Welcome to it.
Yeah. And I could do that.
Yeah. And most people do.
A lot of people do. But I don't.
Because it takes patience.
Because little me wanted to know what's that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to flourish and I wanted to learn.
Right.
And maybe I would have learned things faster or better if someone stopped and took the time to do that. And I'm not saying my parents, I don't even remember being two and asking. Maybe they did this for me. Maybe they yelled at me. I don't know. But I'm making sure I'm going to do to her what I think little me needed.
I love that, because I think maybe as a parent you can think, if you're going to yell or you're going to reprimand in a certain way, maybe you can stop in that moment and think, little me, how would I receive this from my mom when he was doing this? Or when my dad was doing this.
Yeah, or even like whatever you did that day, right or wrong, you reacted. Maybe in the moment you're like, oh, this is the best decision. Reassess at night. Think about it later.
I feel like maybe I can't tell mothers how to mother because I'm not a mother. And I know for me, it sounds very easy. I have no patience. And my sisters know when they come over, the kids start crying. My sister's like, we got to pack up our shit and go. I'm like, time to go. They already know. I don't know. I just don't. I in my heart knew that being a mother was not for me. But that's why I feel like, do I have a say in saying, hey, you should try it this way? Because
I think you have a say in you should try it this way.
I've said it to some mothers and they get very offended. You don't know. You're not a mom.
Maybe they're reflecting on themselves.
It's always a reflection. I've now realized that in life, that what you feel, I'm not responsible, like you said, for your feelings. And if I tell you, hey, stop yelling at the kids, you're just making it worse. Like, you yelling at the kids is just adding fuel.
Yeah.
And if you're okay with that, then it's okay. But sometimes I can't be around it because it reminds me of my dad. I'm having my dad in a physical form in front of me where I'm trying to get past that. So what do I do? Maybe we can have parents like comment and give me some ideas. Give us ideas for people who are not parents. Do we stay away? Do we say it with love? Do we just do we just roll our eyes at you and be like, what can someone who doesn't have children, should we even say anything, or should we just keep our mouth shut? Like, I don't know what the answer is, honey, but I'm trying.
Yeah, I hear you. You're with me all the time. I feel like if you see something where I'm struggling, I'm stressed about something, I would be 100% open to you later, not when I'm screaming, later telling me, hey, you were acting a little not yourself in this moment. Is there anything? And this is where you take the pressure off of me and my bad parenting, because I'm already thinking that. Right.
That's what.
Or you say, is there anything I could have done if this happens again?
To help you.
Yeah. I think having that conversation when I'm no longer upset or overstimulated or whatever the issue is, having you bring that to my attention, that you were aware of it, and being there telling me, if this happens again, is there anything you could do? And maybe it's going to be, yeah, I'm embarrassed, I'm acting this way, I'm working on myself. Can you leave the room so I don't have to be embarrassed? I don't know. Or
but
maybe,
but
or
that's
maybe
sometimes all you need,
I don't know what I need.
Girl, I don't know what I need, but
well, well, definitely I want to maybe dive into a little bit of your cancer story in the next
there's
episode.
So many topics that we need to really get in there, because
we don't want to anger your little bears.
No, honey, my bears are sleeping.
Maybe we can talk about, like, the side effects that you still have. Or
listen, I'm trying to live a harmonious life, and if you don't want to be harmonious, that's okay. Just pretend to be harmonious around me, because I have a second chance to live. I'm trying to be around for a long time. So go yell there, or you can yell here if you need to let it out. That's the thing, though. Sometimes you have to. But if
What's wrong with that?
If it's all the time when I'm around you, I can't do it.
Balance.
I can't do it. Even if it was my husband, I couldn't be married to him if he was going to be that type of husband.
Balance.
That I can't. So I need balance. You're my balance, honey. I'm your balance.
Okay. Well, next episode we'll dive into.
I'm ready.
Your cancer journey. Yeah. At least we'll touch base. We'll touch it.
Just a little.
Thank you so much for the love you guys have been giving us.
Why don't you guys like, follow, share with your comadre, your tío, your cousin, your friend. Just hit that subscribe button. See you next Tuesday.
Amen.